If you're anything like me, you probably don't have a very specific diet. Some meals you lean more toward meat, others more toward fruit and veg. And for others again, you're indulging in your salted caramel, triple chuck abomination of choice. But not my guest today. She's followed the carnivore diet for 7 years. Juilliard pianist Bella Ma made the switch after 6 years as a vegan, and when a blood test showed up major nutritional deficiencies. So, how has the switch changed the acne, eczema, and anxiety that she'd suffered since her youngest years? What does she have to say about how eating carnivore has spiked her cholesterol? And what's her advice to those looking to break their high-carb and processed food addictions? Welcome to Vital Signs, where we learn how to get healthier from all angles, from the biochemical and nutritional to the things we do that nourish our minds and our souls. I'm Brendan Fallon. Bella, it's a real pleasure to have you join us on Vital Signs today.
Thank you for having me.
You've been doing carnivore diet now for 7 years, so that's an incredible commitment, and something must be working for you, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But before that, you did vegan for 6 years. What was your experience on vegan, and what was the tipping point that led you to switch diets?
Well, I started a vegan diet when I was in high school. And as someone who was in high school and gaining the freshman 15 and having the body start changing, getting my period, I think I just wasn't informed and educated enough to expect those types of changes in my body. And so I panicked. I was wondering why I was gaining so much weight, and all I cared about was staying thin. And as a high school student who was also studying classical piano and performing every single week and competing, it was a lot of pressure to fit into my concert dresses. So because of those added pressures, I just searched online how to lose weight quickly. And at that time, this is about 14 years ago, I happened to stumble across the vegan diet as a way to lose weight really quickly. And so that's really the catalyst for me to start a vegan diet. I started because I wanted to lose weight, and I was insecure about my body. So it worked. When I first went vegan, I lost like a lot of weight really quickly. But it was maybe a couple weeks into eating a vegan diet where the weight started going back up again. And
Just a couple of weeks.
just a couple of weeks, yes.
Wow.
It was not at all a permanent solution. And I just kept chasing that despite feeling like, wow, the vegan diet is not effortless. I actually am building a relationship with food where I'm starting to think about eating food, meals, snacks all the time. And so I was starting to slowly build a poor relationship with food, yet I was just very stubborn to make it work. And I think the vegan community at that time was reassuring me that, oh, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. You're going to start feeling the benefits soon. Well, I did it for 6 years and nothing really got better. My weight never really stabilized. I was constantly chasing weight loss during those 6 years. And what's even worse, which I would like to focus more on, is my health issues got worse. I struggled with eczema ever since I was a kid. The eczema never really got better. It got worse. My face was still full of cystic acne and pimples, never got better on a vegan diet. And then the 6th year, which was the last straw, my wake up call was I lost my period. So because of all of those things together, I just had to stop the vegan diet. I had to focus on my health.
Just there, Bella, what about the vegan diet would cause that kind of effect for you to lose your period? It sounds drastic.
Yes. So I was eating a whole foods vegan diet. A lot of people like to tell me, oh, well, you did the vegan diet wrong. You were probably eating lots of processed junk. I wasn't eating any processed foods. As a vegan, I was eating fresh fruits, vegetables, beans, potatoes, starches. It was what the clean vegans were recommending at that time, 14 years ago. So who knew? I was apparently supposed to supplement with tons of supplements. To me, that is not a healthy diet in the first place. And that's not a diet to be pushing on young women in the first place. But because I was very deficient in vitamin B12, that is why I lost my period. And now, knowing what I know now, the food with the most vitamin B12 is meat, specifically red meat. So I was sorely lacking that food.
When you're dealing with all this pressure, how are you managing that at the time? And then what led to the discovery of carnivore as a solution?
Yes. So the pressure and the stress from my studies and my life that I was living, it was difficult to manage when I was vegan. And when I was nearing the year 6 mark of my vegan journey, and I lost my period. Okay, so that's what made me go take a full panel blood test.
How old were you at this point, Bella?
Ooh, I would say I was like 21. I will also admit that my mom was giving me a lot of pressure and just feeling so concerned about my diet choices, being vegan for so long. So she told me, please go get a full panel blood test. Let's just take a look at your health markers. And so it was the wake up call that I needed because my doctor sat me down and I told her I'm on a vegan diet. And she said, okay, you either have to start supplementing hard or just eat some meat because looking at your blood test results, they're not good. You're very deficient. Because she almost gave me the permission to start eating meat, that was the catalyst for me to search for answers again. And what I searched for is vegan women eating meat for the first time because I was so scared that there was going to be no one who ever did that. The vegan community is really good at making you feel like that the vegan diet is not only the best diet for humans, but it's also the best diet to save the world and to save the planet. And you are just the best human when you eat a vegan diet.
On that test you had, was it? I take it iron was something you would have been low in. Were there other major concerns that came through from that?
Yes. So B12, iron, vitamin D was extremely low, and the other markers that I don't remember because I'm not very science motivated where I care about my labs too much. I just knew that I felt like crap. And so the doctor sat me down and said, you're very deficient in things that are very important. And so to me, that was serious enough to start looking for solutions. Yeah.
Conditions you were dealing with, the skin issues, like brain fog, anxiety, what kind of changes did you see and how long before you started seeing changes on carnivore?
I was dreaming about eggs, particularly my mom's steamed egg is like a Chinese dish for a couple months there before I stopped the vegan diet. My body was so deficient in vital nutrients and vitamins, okay, that I was starting to dream about these foods. So the moment I ate eggs, that was my first food, first animal food. After 6 years, I scrambled eggs and butter. The moment I ate that, I could feel in my cells and in my bones in that moment that food was exactly what my body needed. It tasted so good, but it also made me feel alive. Felt like the energy just came washing back in and I could not stop eating. And I know that my story is really quite extreme. Trust me, people tell me every single day in my comment sections. But look, I was desperate to just feel better. And I tried everything in moderation. Okay. I tried a standard American diet, a whole foods, plant-based, vegan. I tried it all. When I ate that bite of egg, I felt like everything felt right. And so I wanted to eat more eggs. So I ate more eggs. I wanted to eat more butter. So I ate a stick of butter a day. Okay. I wanted to eat more beef. So I ate pounds and pounds of fatty beef as much as I wanted. And truly it was healing me because my period came back in 2 to 3 months. So this is 7 years ago. But I just remember when my period came back, I was celebrating because that is a sign of health for a young woman in her 20s. It is not normal to not have a period. Okay. Even though I get comments on TikTok from young women watching my content and they hear me say I lost my period. And believe it or not, some young women are asking me, how did you lose your period? Because I want to lose my period. I hate my period. Okay. But that is not a sign of health. And there's so much to unlearn. But when the period came back, I was so happy. I knew that I was on the right track.
If you were to ask me these different viruses, which is the one that has the pandemic potential? People need to understand that there's different types of viruses of Ebola. This is a very deadly virus. Its mortality is anywhere between 25 and 40%. There's no vaccine against this one. Which is very odd about this particular hantavirus is that this one historically has been demonstrating at least some aspects of the characteristics of human-to-human spread.
What viruses should we be aware of? Which ones do you see as posing a significant threat that we may not be paying that much attention to?